morning. Hello. I'm gonna make some more chai with the last of my bagged black tea. I'm going to use more of this mystery spice. It's actually quite spicy. I don't know what I put in there, but it almost tastes like there's a ton of black pepper or chili powder, but quite delicious. That was probably way too much sugar. Oops. We'll just have to dilute that. We'll be making some dumplings for Grandma because we're out. I'm down to the last 4 dumplings. I do not want her to be upset. It's never a happy circumstance for anyone when she is. So that's what we're doing. Because I dumped too much sugar in there, I think what I'm gonna do is actually put in a little bit of green tea too, because I think it's just gonna be way too sweet. So I'm gonna try to balance out our flavors a little bit. I've never made a green and black tea chai before, but we'll see. The sugar is caramelizing. I'm gonna add in a little bit more spice. I guess we're gonna go for a double batch. I don't know how long this medicinal pot from my childhood is gonna hold up. I'm starting to find cracks in it, as well as chips, but we're just gonna keep using it for as long as it will hold up. Hi, Australia. Yes, it is a clay pot, indeed. I don't know if you can see the smoke from the caramelization of the sugars from my phone screen, but probably not. Hello. I'm not sure what happened there. We got a little disconnected. But I hope you can see me now. Hello, Dubai and Netherlands. It is allergy season here in New York. I am suffering quite a bit. My face is pretty swollen. My eyes are really itchy. My nose is starting to experience a lot of just runniness and congestion and all of that good stuff. So it's lovely. I really dislike summer and spring. They bring me much misery. we should put on a little lipstick to feel better. And then I'm going to eat some stuff, and then we'll get right to the dumplings. I have to go today at about 12:45. I'm going to go into Manhattan for my monthly hot yoga class. It's like my new routine to treat myself to a monthly hot yoga class. It's when I'm at my peak white girl moment. And I think at first I was like a little bit embarrassed and shameful that I like hot yoga, because I was just like, this is such a weird bougie thing for me to like, but I really do like it. There is something absolutely disgusting about the way I'm just like dripping in my own sweat, and everyone else is gross, and everyone just accepts that they're gross and they relish in it. There's something very like base and animal about it. So it's very ironic that I'm going to hot yoga in the middle of what feels like summer in spring. But that's what I'm doing today. And then maybe I'll meet up with Aaron for a little dinner, since I'll be in his neck of the woods after. What's everyone else doing today? Hi, Amsterdam. Okay, ready? This is vacay. We're gonna pretend that we're on vacay. And then I think one of you told me to do this, but we have some product on my fingy, so we'll just go ahead and do our 5-point clown work. Okay. What shall we eat? Let's see. I am an old school girl. I bought some yogurt yesterday. I've been hankering for yogurt, but I don't know if I feel like eating yogurt. There's something too hot right now about yogurt. Maybe some nectarine? That sounds good. Let's start with that. And then we'll work our way up. Congratulations on working your way out of a depression slump. I personally would prefer to freeze in winter than to melt in summer. Especially New York summers are just very unpleasant for me. but I'm sure it's different for everyone. This is the way I like to cut up a stone fruit, especially when the pit can be hard to remove. I have it. If it's perfectly ripe, it should twist off with the pit in one half. And then for the other half, I just cut it into wedges while it's still attached to the pit. And then I can just break off a slice, which is easier than trying to remove the entire pit. Now, if you like to use a lot of curse words, I listen to a lot of different kinds of music, but a lot of R&B, I think. Oh God. Womp womp. Yeah, we like cursing here, it's fine. I just hope the algorithm doesn't punish you. It probably will. I love Misego. I don't know how to say his name, but he's very sexy. His music is very sexy music. This one I'm just using because I want to use the spray bottle for something else. This is something that I got off the free table at work. I've told this story probably 10 times now. It just really takes off some of the wax that can come with conventional produce from supermarkets. I had the stove off the entire time, and I'm wondering why this didn't come up to a boil. That's the kind of day we're having. I almost feel like because it's Arm & Hammer, which makes baking soda, you can probably just make your own with water and baking soda. The ingredients here, from the back of the label, purified water, baking soda, salt, plant-derived cleaning agents, well that's very specific, preservative, and lemon oil. One of you recommended Hecker's flour, so I bought it this time. So Grandma's dumpling dough is made with Hecker's unbleached flour. They went like retro with the packaging this time. I think they've changed it. Can I confess something to you? I actually really don't like Rena's music. She seems very cool. I just don't think she can, I don't like her vocals at all. And I'm also really not into like that grunge metal punk combo. It's just like way too intense and it doesn't feel good in my ears. So here's the dough that we'll be working with. I made it last night at 11. It's been sitting on the counter all night. And then here is the meat filling that we made last time we made dumpling. I'm sure Grandma will like the dumplings. I don't think it will be that big of a deal. I've always wanted to try Heckers too. I've never had it before. So thank you for the recommendation. Okay, I'm still a little bit hungry. So, what do I want to eat? Okay, yes, this. I think I've shown you guys before, right? I really just like eating frozen veggies while they're frozen, especially corn. I don't know if it tastes different than other flour. I haven't eaten it yet, but I will report back, I guess. Not that I don't think I can actually taste the difference in flours. Okay. Here is our dough. It might be a little sticky, I think. I might have added too much water in there, but we'll just have to see. I also have frozen peas. Yes, we might move on to that in a few seconds after I finish my corn. I would not consider opening a food cart because in order to get a mobile food vendor license in New York City, you have to jump through so many hoops. And I've heard it's kind of like a mafia. You have to have inside connections. But there's a lot of good dumplings. Especially if you live in New York. Also, you can just make your dumplings. A dumpling make-along next time. I've been staring at some tattoo artists in Montreal. I really do want to visit Montreal sometime, and I was talking with a friend yesterday, and he was like, you know, we can drive there, and I was like, no, we can't. And then I Google mapped it, and it's a 6-hour drive, and it looks like it's just a straight shot up north. Geography is fascinating as someone who does not know it at all. So, Maybe Montreal. Wait, how many of the viewers currently on this live are from New York City or New York State? Specify. I'm so curious. How many people are in my hood? Brooklyn. Buffalo. Astoria. Holler. 2 viewers spotted me last night in Astoria. That was fun. It was like at night too. New Jersey counts? Depends on what part of New Jersey. The last time I was in China was 2012. Time. Dude. Time is weird. How did you, only if you want to share, but Karen, how did you find out that he was married? Because that is fascinating. Fascinating. But no pressure, obviously. Did Grandma get to go to... Grandma was still in China in 2012. She didn't come here until like 2015 or 2016. I can't remember which one. Wow, that is quite a revelation. Hello, Berlin. Grandma's been feeling okay, I think. Can't ever be sure, though. Can't ever be sure. That sounds like quite a marriage. marriage couple to want to play D&D. Those two stereotypes do not fit in my head together, but fascinating. Here's our first little scrungy dumpling of the day. I will bring you closer once the chai is done, which I'm gonna put a timer on for 7 minutes. The last chai was not extracted as bitterly as I wanted it to. You don't understand open marriages? What don't you understand about it? Let's talk about it. I'm not in an open marriage, but I was in an open relationship, so I feel like those could be very similar thought processes, maybe. I mean, dependent on the individual couples, of course, but that could be a fun topic for us to talk about while we make dumps. You don't understand jealousy? Well, that's a personal issue. It's something that you can work on. It's definitely a big problem for me when we started, but if you want to work on it, you can. STDs is definitely a concern for sexually active couples. Yeah, if they don't practice safe sex, they should probably get examined, is that the right word? Regularly, if they have a lot of partners sexually. What happens if one develops feelings for someone else? Then you decide what you want to do. If you want to continue having that polyamorous kind of arrangement, or if you want to break up. I mean, mentally for me, a large part of romantic relationships comes down to this very toxic element that I think comes down to possession, right? Feeling like we own someone else. And I feel like open relationships are quite fascinating in that we try to let go of this idea that we own someone else. So for me, if I love this person and they found someone that they feel like they love more or they fit better with, then if I love them, I would simply accept the fact that he's found someone who makes him happier. It's gonna suck for me, for sure. But ultimately, it makes you question what love is for you. Is love wishing the best for someone else? Or is love making sure that you own this person? I feel like those two are different kinds of loves. And so this is coming from me as a person who doesn't believe in marriage as a romantic commitment. I think it's dumb. I think it's stupid. I think it comes from a history of political and socioeconomic benefits. So I don't view marriage as something that is necessary for love. In fact, I feel like it maybe makes you more committed to the other person, kind of almost like making yourself go to school and have a regimen, but I don't know what it does to love per se. But love is also multifaceted and mean different things to different people, right? So yeah, I was in a relationship and we opened that relationship up. Sometimes you want to have one primary partner, that person that you would trust, like as unconditionally as you could trust another person, because you just like them so much and you want them to be your primary partner. That was my thought. But that doesn't mean that I have to deny my desires to meet other people and to talk to other people and to like potentially develop other sorts of relationships with other people. Because I feel like that sort of denial is akin to the types of thinking that makes me develop unhealthy eating behaviors and causes me to binge. This sort of restriction of no, you can't do that, makes me miserable. So once again, it comes down to, do you want to be happy? Does your partner want you to be happy? What does that happiness entail? Can you guys agree on what happiness can entail? And are you on the same page about wanting your partner to be as happy as they can be? And how do you toe the line in terms of communicating each other's needs in a way that you can figure out a solution that might not just be what society told you to be? Because these rules were made by people who are long dead, who had their own agendas, their own points of views, their own cultures, their own social dictations and patterns of behavior. And, you know, we change through time. So it just depends on how much you want to explore for yourself the options that do exist, that are just not being advertised as readily. I think you can love someone and still want to be with others. Yeah, of course. I'm curious to ask the person who's so skeptical of open relationships and marriages how old you are. Maybe it's ageist of me, but I'm very curious what your background is. If you're willing to share and if you want to share. Yeah, I would say when I was 25, and also when I was in a relationship for about 4 or 5 years, I would probably have had the same mentality as you, for sure. And if you find a partner who agrees with you on all of these things and you're truly honest with each other, then great. If you found that person for you, then great. But not everyone functions the way we function, so. I lied. I'm gonna keep this tea boiling for a little bit longer. It smells so good. Hi, Oregon. Weird if you have children together. Yeah, well, I'm speaking as someone who doesn't want children. So again, different perspectives, different values, different goals, different desires, different preferences, right? I can only speak from my point of view, obviously. Children can be confused because society doesn't show them other models of what their parents might be doing if their parents are doing less mainstream stuff. But if you are good at communicating, I think children have a capacity to understand things better than adults sometimes because they haven't been brainwashed by all of these dictations yet. So don't assume that children can't understand because you don't think you can explain it to them properly. Or comprehensively. That's a form of projection. I kind of also think personally that having children is immoral, which is why I choose not to have them, but I also recognize that morality is subjective and not objective, so it's simply my personal morals. I don't really understand the way that you might not understand why some people would prefer open relationships, why some people want to have biological children at this point, but that doesn't reduce their validity or lived experience just because I can't understand it, right? Children observe what is happening in their friends' homes too and don't want to be different or odd. Again, I think you're projecting. I think this is a teaching moment where we can demonstrate that there are ulterior and alternative ways of living and engaging in society, and you could teach others that, you know, just because you're different, it doesn't mean that you're doing something wrong, and just because you can't understand it, it doesn't make your existence any less valid. I think these moments that we are afraid to confront are all learning moments and teaching moments, and I think the sooner that we can come to getting comfortable with discomfort is the moment when we can start eliminating all the shame and guilt that we've built up through very nonsensical rules that are very much outdated sometimes. So again, this is speaking to a personal insecurity that has been dictated by societal progression, but it does not mean that we cannot change it. And I have a lot of hang-ups, you know? So I agree with Karen that children learn hang-ups from adults. I don't really want to pass on my hang-ups, and I know that it will be inevitable. So I just made my life choice. I'm happy with it. I absolutely agree that it is how you respond to what your kids tell you that helps them. Yep. Communication. As a parent, if you cannot communicate, you will raise kids who don't know how to communicate. And if you have insecurities around your inability to communicate, you will then cause a lot of shame and guilt in your kids when it comes to matters of communication. If you cannot demonstrate these life skills and they have no one else to demonstrate and model it for them, it's going to cause issues. Yeah, although, I mean, we can definitely give simplified answers, but babies don't always come from a love between a man and a woman, right? Like, we now have way more complex scenarios that we've come to acknowledge as a society, and I don't know if that's doing anyone any favors if you instantly associate babies with love, and men and women. We have surrogacy now. We have like test tube babies, you know? So there's also rape pregnancies. There's also kids being given up for adoption. So it's just a little complicated. Which is why I don't want to have kids. I don't want to have to explain how horrible life can be sometimes. It's a lot of work. Yeah, I get you, T-Bag. I felt that way too. T-Bag said, no judgment to people in open relationships, that's their business. For me, it would be hard because it would reinforce my existing insecurity that I'm not enough for someone. I think through working through my own issues of jealousy and insecurities in the open relationship, I started realizing that, yeah, we really can't be enough for someone else because we're not even enough for ourselves sometimes. And that's not to say that we're broken or inadequate. That's just to say that we are people with a lot of different needs. And one person can't handle all those needs, right? Like, you don't use shampoo on your teeth. You have to use toothpaste on your teeth. You don't use dish soap. Well, maybe you do use dish soap to wash your dingly parts, but it's probably not going to feel great over time. So people have specialties. And I think if we allow for a sort of rearrangement of the conceptualization of romance and relationships in a way that allow people to really appreciate what everyone has to offer, and we try to take the ego out of it, it's going to be very strange in the beginning because our society is built on this idea of property and ownership and completeness and perfection, but it's also quite liberating if you can get over that. I think that's a false narrative. Time for frozen peas. If you never question yourself, you can continue feeling security, but I believe that security is a false sense of security because it's kind of like, if I don't look underneath the cupboards, I'll never find the mouse droppings. And then you won't investigate if you have actually a mouse problem. And you'll just keep turning a blind eye and pretending that everything's okay, and everything is okay to the extent that it is until it's not. Marriages do fall apart. Monogamous relationships do fall apart. It's not just because you're in a monogamous relationship that you won't ever have insecurities. You just don't choose to acknowledge them in the same way that you would in a polyamorous arrangement. The meat mixture has been frozen since we made it. It was defrosted this morning. Listen, I would rather be in a relationship where my partner, whether they be boyfriend, husband, no title, whatever, legally, I would want them to be able to feel trusting and comfortable enough to tell me that they're experiencing physical or emotional attraction to someone else. Is it going to hurt? Probably. Is it going to hurt less with each increasing instance? Yes, because why? Pain comes from a lack of exposure. Even the body gets used to pain. Your pain tolerance grows the more pain you experience. In a lot of ways, pain isn't really bad. It's just a symptom and a signifier that, like, this is something that you're not used to. It could be harmful, but we don't know if it is harmful. But I think we as a society have started to push away pain to the extent that we always label all pains wrong. Like, just the way that we pop painkillers prescription or OTC painkillers, as if it was just like a band-aid all the time, you know? I think we need to get used to experiencing a little more pain so that we become a little bit hardier. Because life is trauma. Like, you live and you hurt, and that's normal. But we've abnormalized the normal now to where we exist in a state of constantly being vigilant and constantly policing ourselves on whether or not we are abnormal, and always feeling like we're abnormal. Why? Because we've made the normal abnormal. That to me is like the greatest twisted logic that our society has landed itself in. And we do things so abnormally now that we accept as normal. Like, plastic everywhere is really not normal, but it's become normal now because it was convenient and cheap, and now it's everywhere. Chickpea and broccoli recipe, yes. That was a Chelsea Lupkin idea. Shout out Chelsea. She pitched that idea to me when I made that chickpea video. It was really good, wasn't it? That was a lifetime ago. When my partner feels comfortable enough to let me know when they're attracted to someone else, that is the ultimate sign of trust, relationship, and love for me. Because in our current society, experiencing attraction for someone else while you're in a monogamous relationship is a source of guilt and shame. That they are able to divulge the source of potential guilt and shame to me means that they feel safe around me. And in turn, because I can see that they feel safe around me, I can also feel safe around them. And there is no denying the truth that once you are attracted to someone, they will be in your head. And sometimes when you can't talk about it, that attraction actually grows because it turns into an obsession of sorts. And the secrecy of it fuels it, makes it feel forbidden and therefore more desirable. Probably triggers some sort of brain chemical reaction. I'm guessing. There's probably some sort of weird, twisted hormone or whatever in there. I'm not a biochemist, but you know, I want people to talk to me. If they don't talk to me, then I don't feel safe. I drink my chai iced. I think I've, Gabor Mate, I don't know how to say his name, but I think I've seen like Instagram reels of him. I don't think I would actually read a book written by someone who focuses on that sort of perspective. I just feel like it wouldn't really bring anything new to my life. Europeans don't like iced coffee. That's probably because their coffee tastes better than ours, and they don't want to dilute the pleasurable experience of well-made coffee. Iced coffee is a very American thing, yes. Well, see, we have Europeans who do like iced coffee. Stereotypes be stereotyping. Okay, this is what happens when your dumpling dough is too wet. It's much harder to roll out. It keeps bunching itself up. Live and learn. Oh, one new development to this dumpling dough is instead of cornstarch, I use tapioca starch in the dough. So I'm very curious what it's gonna boil into. I don't know, I don't really drink coffee, so I don't know what's really available here. TBH. It's a proportionally small amount of tapioca, but maybe chewier. I'm not sure. It's called the Flavor Bible, the book that you're asking about. But keep in mind that it has a very westernized and like Eurocentric presentation of flavors and ingredients. Like it does keep in mind popular flavors like Chinese American cooking flavors and like Mexican or Tex-Mex flavors, but if you're looking for a flavor Bible that is like culturally inclusive, you probably need to look up other stuff too. But it's a nice reference to have. Especially if those are the flavor profiles that you prefer and are used to. A coffee with no bitterness. I want to try it. Wow, was it acidic? Yeah, I don't know much about indigenous cuisine at all. I think it's only just come into, and I hate to put it this way, but I think it's only just come into vogue to start paying attention to Native American traditions. After all the violence and mutilation we've done to the Native American population as a country, and continue to. Ooh. Kay Maya, would you like to share anything with us from your paper findings? I'm so curious. Maybe like 2 highlights? 3 highlights? If you want to share. No pressure. Oh wow, 1970s. I wasn't even born. I don't even know what New York looked like back then. Is coffee the new wine? Has coffee surpassed wine in its popular consumption and tasting and bougeification? The most interesting thing to me was that, contrary to popular belief, a lot of foraging did occur in the far north and arid regions. Cool. Also, indigenous people often made spice mixes out of foraged herbs. Cool. Does that mean that they wouldn't cultivate much? That most of it was just dependent on what nature provided, and they would gather from it whatever was already growing? Would they participate in actively planting, seeding, harvesting, all of that agricultural jazz? Oh, where does one forage lamb quarters and mugwort? I want to go foraging. Do you trust New York City soil for foraging? We're gonna take a break. Inwood Hill. That's a very long subway ride for me, unfortunately. Has anyone tested the soil in that park? I'm going to a friend's clothing swap tomorrow. I'm gonna map it out. It's a 3.5-mile walk. Do you think I can do it? It's been a very long time since I've taken a big walk. Oh, it's only 1 hour and 20. Totally doable. I feel thirsty. Yeah, of course you can simmer the tea for longer. You'll just end up with like more bitter notes, which I like. I have the story of going into a Greenpoint tea shop and having the lady tell me that I was brewing tea wrong because I told her that I liked bitter tea, and she told me if you brew tea correctly, it should not be bitter. And I was like, okay. I'm trying to eat the milk skin, but it has tea leaves embedded in it. But maybe we'll try it anyway. Some of the green tea leaves are very twiggy though. Extra fiber or IBS trigger? Tastes good. Hard to chew. I don't know what's in that mystery spice, and I'm really kind of bummed that I don't know because it makes the most amazing chai spice. It's like perfectly spacious. Just a lot of heat without being absolutely fire. I soaked some raw almonds and then I slipped all the skins off. So now I just have this soaked almond sitting here. And what I've discovered, it only works best in the first 3 soaks. But if you drink the water that you soak the almonds in, it has this incredibly soothing almond flavor to it. So this is my newest treat, liquid treat. It's very refreshing. I think it's gonna be great for the summer. It gives off this almond milk coconut water baby feeling to it. It's like a hybrid of the two. It's doesn't have the acidity of coconut water, but like there's no real fruitiness to it, but it's very refreshing the way coconut water is. And it also has a little bit of that like rich, creamy, I wouldn't even say fattiness, but it just tastes like rich and creamy. So, and then you get to eat soaked almonds. Aren't they cute? Did I already eat the second half of the almond? My brain is like... I would drink the rice rinse water too, but I feel like that's kind of dirty, no? Like, I don't know how that rice was processed. Yeah, what other juicy topics do we want? I'm about to roll out the rest of our dumpling dough. I unfollowed 2 people last week. It was very liberating. Have you ever felt liberated from detaching yourself to social media obligations? Rice does have arsenic in it, but you can't just wash out the arsenic. It's grown into the rice itself. Arsenic exists in the soil. So when you grow a grain that is grown in arsenic soil, I mean, you can wash it, but it won't rid it completely. The filling is the same dumpling filling we made last time, Eileen. The exact same one. Brown rice is higher because it is less processed. It contains the germ and the bran, and that's just more of whatever the soil elements held. I'd rather not know what's in my water because, like, what am I going to do about it? And then where does that filter go when I discard it? Holding all of the toxins. Where does that all go? If it doesn't go in my body, it goes into someone else's, right? Just goes back into the cycle. Fred is good. If you follow Aaron on Instagram, he's been posting stories of Freddie being Freddie. Seems like they're enjoying their life together very, very well. Very, very much. Reverse osmosis. Sounds fancy. Yeah, I'm one of the few friends that I have in New York City who don't own any sort of water filtration unit. Most of them at least have a filter pitcher. But I don't do that shit anymore. I did! I just watched Hunger with Samira. It was fine. I would say arguably it was slightly better than the menu, but it was also predictable. I don't think these movies have anything new to say, unfortunately. But I just, last week I watched Nope, and I know everybody talked about this when it happened, but I really cannot believe that it did not get nominated for any Oscars. That, like, I don't know. I just don't know. It just makes no sense. I think if a movie like Everything Everywhere can get Oscar nominated up the wahoo, then, you know, other movies should too. Wow, somebody is playing ABBA really loudly right now. Ooh, maybe I'll get demonetized for my neighbor's music. Wouldn't that be funny? And I feel like Blonde got a lot of negative feedback about how it was just basically torture porn. So I'll never quite understand these. I don't think we're meant to. But I think even in terms of like politics, Nope should have been a player. You don't think so? It was also so surprising because they made this huge commentary on media and the movie industry. Like, I thought the Oscars loved masturbatory topics, like the movie industry. I mean, I think Nope was really well done in that it tackled so many different topics all within one movie, and none of it was heavy-handed. Like a movie like The Menu and Hunger, they're so clear about what the message is, it feels lazy. Like it's just spoon-feeding you more of what you already know. And it's like really pointless to me to make movies like that, except to show off that you can make a movie. Baby dump. This is like such a weird wrapper shape, but we're gonna make it work for the most part. Did I overstuff it? Yes. See? Overstuff. Oh, I had a friend who watched Cocaine Bear. What did you guys think of it? Is Tampoco? That's not a recent movie, is it? Yeah, I thought it was. I feel like Binging with Babish did a food video based on one of those dishes from that movie. Maybe? I wonder when Grandma's gonna get tired of dumplings. Do we think she'll ever get tired of dumplings? Do you think there will come a day when I don't have to make her dumplings anymore? So I think the audience going to see Cocaine Bear is hoping for something stupid and fun. I think that's the target. Here's our progress. One day I'll be able to make these faster. The day has not come yet. Grandma does not like spicy. And I do not eat these dumplings. I only make them for her. These are way too time consuming for me to eat them myself. I just eat the store-bought ones that Grandma refuses to eat. LOL. Read the cat question. I don't know. We'll see. There's no use thinking about the future. That won't be me. I don't think there is a way to make dumplings profitable enough for me to do them for more than just my grandma. I don't think it would be a wise use of my time. Or even a pleasurable one, TBH. I can feel like a slight burden sometimes. Yeah, what is a manchu cake? My hands don't really get tired. I think my attention span gets bored. I think if I were more proficient, I wouldn't get so bored. I would be moving faster, but I don't like black garlic. It tastes sweet and pointless to me. French cream cheesecake. That sounds good. Whoa! Chili pepper eating contest in Beijing. That's fun. So is the air quality in Beijing really bad right now? My uncle tells me that there's been one instance of rain since August of last year, and they've just been having like dust storms every other day. Is that your experience of living in Beijing? I love Chinese pickled garlic for sure. The ones that I had in Xi'an that were pickled to a light baby powdery pink was perfect. Texture, taste, crunch, amazing. Yeah, Uncle's been telling me that the dust storms, when they happen, just basically make the whole sky look yellow. Sounds pretty apocalyptic. Black garlic is fermented garlic, which is why it's sweet. There is the breakdown into sugars, I think. But it turns like into this creamy, almost spreadable consistency. Trader Joe's carries it. Last I was there. It's supposed to be like a health food. I don't really find the pleasure in eating it. Yeah, not sure. If you do black garlic hummus, let us know how it turns out. I'm curious. I just don't think you would get any of the pungency of the garlic that's normally in hummus. But it sounds like a cool experiment for sure. Not sure if I'd be into it personally, but I'm sure somebody will be. Yeah, we can smoke a joint together any day. Are you sending out the joints to us all? I feel like you should ask for your money back if your garlic molded before the Best Buy date. I have friends who like never send food back if it's made wrong or if the order came out wrong, and they don't return shit when it's bad after they've just bought it. It always makes me a little sad because I'm just like, you're paying for the service. You should get what you paid for. I don't think it's being mean. I think there are some people who abuse, but yes, my friend Samira also loved beef. She was telling me that I should watch it. But I don't have Netflix anymore. No, I don't think it's your fault. I think especially if you didn't even open it, then that should have prevented it from going bad. I would honestly just send a complaint letter to the company of manufacturer and just be like, yo, your product is not good. It is moldy. Just thought you should know for quality control. I would never send something back because I didn't like it. I think that's on me for taking a chance on that. And you can't always love everything that you buy and eat and, you know, experience. But I think if the food came out wrong and was a mistake, then for sure that is grounds for returning, exchanging, substituting, etc. that Chinese joke. I'm so sad. Oh, I get it now. Okay, it's actually a Chinese English joke. You have to know both languages to get it. I see. That is very interesting. That might be the first bilingual joke I've seen like that. Might have worked better verbally spoken, I guess. All right, we're down to the last 4 dumps. If I don't see you guys before then, Wednesday will be vlog day. I vlogged a Saturday randomly because that day had an in-person farm class. And then I went to eat in the Lower East Side with Aaron and our mutual friend Daisuke. So I just decided to do a vlog that day. So that will be premiering on Wednesday. And then I'll have to start editing my week-long food diary. Hi, Philippines. I don't know. ChatGPT can probably. A friend was just telling me yesterday how they're developing technology where like they basically are developing machine learning to write screenplays. And you would just shoot a few generic scenes with actors. And they're developing this technology where, like, supposedly AI can just fill in the rest of the scenes with, like, CGI. It's kind of creepy. It's kind of creepy. Welcome to our modern world. Done. Dumplings. Probably enough for 1 week, and then we have to do it again. Yay! Thank you for the vitamin reminder. We love and appreciate. Let's drink some chai, y'all. Well, let's first clean up. Yes, June. Oh, I'm so excited to sit down. On Sunday, the Burlap and Barrel newsletter will feature the return of cardamom extract. And I decided that because I had some cardamom pods, I was going to just try to soak it in some of my own liquor and see if I could make my own cardamom extract too. It smells pretty nice. This isn't like apple brandy. I don't know if the proof is high enough, but it smells very pleasant. It's like spiced pear pie is what it smells like to me. I like how I have 170 people just staring at my torso. It's great. Okay, time to load the dishwasher. So yeah, if you like vanilla extract, you might want to try out cardamom extract. It has a very floral, slightly eucalyptus-y flavor. Works well in baked goods and cocktails and drinks. Whoa, what else did you order, Kim? I've turned you into a spice freak. Lemongrass and white pepper, yum. I haven't tried those. I have them, I just haven't tried. Are you clean? Damn, I don't know if you're clean. I'm going to pretend you're clean now. Yeah, shipping in Canada, not cheap, for sure. Whoops. Definitely shouldn't have shaken that. I broke Mom's baby strainer. It made me kind of sad, but it also means I've been using it well. I think I was just putting too much pressure on it, trying to push through solids, and I basically ripped out the edge of it a little. Do you see? This came detached. Every time you see this pot, you think of unseasoned turtle soup? Think of how I think of it. Actually, I think cooking with this pot to make chai is like very good therapy for me, to try to leave those days of turtle soup behind me and repurpose this pot in such a way that I don't think about turtle soup every time I see this dang thing. Whoa, you got everything, Kim. Damn, girl. Hi, Can. Yeah, I mean, maybe if you request your grocer to stock burlap and barrel, that could be one way, because I think if we can get a mass shipment to a retailer, it will be cheaper for the consumer. Maybe. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. I don't work on the ops team. But yeah, if you guys like burlap and barrel spices and you don't want to commit to like paying shipping or ordering over $45 every time, which is what you have to order to get free shipping, then the best way is to tell your supermarkets to stock them. I believe they are trying to expand their retail this year. So if you have a supermarket that would be open to stocking some $10 jars of spice, if that's what their clientele is, then yeah. I think tomorrow, I'm just saying this because I'm treating you as my therapy and journal now. But tomorrow when I go to the clothing swap, I'm gonna end up donating some clothes that Mom either bought for me or left behind. Because I think I have to be realistic about the fact that I don't actually want to wear them and that I've been holding on to them just because of the fact that they were Mom's. And I think maybe this is part of healing and recovering from the impact of losing her so suddenly. I like to think that this is not me abandoning her, but rather me incorporating the impact that she's had on my life in teaching me how to be a person who honors my own needs and desires and wishes. As much as she tried to protect me and provide for me, I think her ultimate goal was to have me be invincible. Holy shit, $18 on Taobao. Of all places, I would not have guessed. That's fascinating. Okay, we're gonna plop some ice cubes in and we're gonna drink some of this chai. We're also gonna drink some old chai to compare. So this is new chai with green and black tea, and this is old chai with just black tea that we're gonna shake up a little bit. Fascinated. That's what I've come to realize, and it's not something so apparent and accessible right after someone close to you dies, but mom is not in her things, although I think memories exist in things for me. So when I lost her so suddenly, I was holding on to physical items because those had the most physical presence of her left for me to kind of cling onto and try to save her before the memory of her being in this realm faded like a dream. But now I think I'm ready to let the dream fade a little bit more, and to move on, not to mean abandoning her, moving on, but to move on in such a way that I have processed the loss. And also at the same time, in processing that loss, acknowledging that she is still very much present as she could ever be for me, alive or dead. That's the thing about donating clothes though, is I don't know if someone's gonna wear it. It might just end up in a landfill because this clothing swap, if people don't take it, they will be donating it, but clothing donations are so obscure and like opaque of a process that I don't actually know if there's a guaranteed receiver at the other end of the line. But even knowing that it might just be discarded, I still don't want to continue this habit of holding on to everything. And yeah, I do have a lot of her other stuff too, so I have more than enough. I think the things that I'm giving away, they just don't really seem to work on my body anymore. Not only in terms of size, but also in terms of style. I just don't feel the same anymore. So I'd like to move on. Bye, Beijing. Have a good spicy chili competition. No, I don't really want to repurpose the material into something else. One, it is a perfectly good piece of clothing. They are all good pieces of clothing still, very wearable and relatively new actually. So, and I also just don't need to repurpose into anything else because I don't have a need for anything else in my life. Bye, Jessel. Do we see the cracks? They're coming. It's gonna break one day. It's gonna leak everything all over my stove. And then it'll be time to say goodbye to the past. All right, with our remaining minutes, which is about 10, and 30% battery life, let's drink some chai and rest a little. The honking in this neighborhood is kind of insane. Okay, this is our new chai, made today, fresh, with green and black tea. Flower pot needs drainage on the bottom. I don't think I can drill holes into this. And I prefer to use it as a pot anyway. I don't mind things breaking. I don't mind things leaving my life. I think things have a natural cycle and I'm trying to embrace the cycle. I don't need them to last forever. Is there anything we would like to talk about as I swelter in my kitchen where I just boiled a shit ton of liquid? Very sweet. I like it. It's too sweet in terms of the standard chai that I make for myself, but it's probably under or approaching the sweetness of chai that I would buy elsewhere in Jackson Heights. So I would say it's a very enjoyable dessert drink, but not like a refreshing tea drink. This is more of an indulgence, one can say. Man, that mystery spice is so good. I wish I knew what I put in it. Damn. I'm pretty sure there's kosher salt in here. And citron peppercorns. And maybe coriander. Fascinating. Convection ovens, that's the one where they have a built-in fan, right? Yeah, their air fryers are basically baby convections. Did you ever reveal what the B&B mystery spice was? I don't remember what the mystery spice was. Oh, yes. It was the one where Ram came over, and I couldn't refer to it by its name. Yeah, it's been launched. It's the ground fenugreek. The bitter one, right? That's the one you're thinking of? I also have to go in under 20 minutes. We'll all have to go in 20 minutes, because this room will be closing. Yeah, it smells really good. It smells like a combination of cilantro and parsley and celery. It toasts into a very coffee caramel smell in brown butter, and it's very essential to give it that like curry flavor profile overall in dishes, but that is one spice that I cannot use out of the jar straight onto like a cooked item. It has to be cooked. Okay, time to try our other chai. The one with only black tea. Bye, peeps. This one immediately smells less fragrant. What is written on the back of my shirt? I think someone in college wrote this on me. I think it says, I don't really know how to read it backwards. Let me take it off and read it and tell you. Oh, it's upside down. It says, I got your back, Mary. That was from, I think, Mary Clapp at Swarthmore College, freshman year. We were on the Frisbee team together. Although this t-shirt is from my junior high school in Forest Hills. Ooh, interesting. This tastes more caramelly, spicier, and more like silken tofu creamy sweetness. I like them both. This one has a slightly more condensed milk taste, and the other one has a more like Asian milk tea taste. Okay. I'm gonna go because I just cracked a nail. I'm gonna trim my nails now. And I really don't want to do that on a live. It's kind of gross. But I wish you guys all a very lovely weekend. And, ooh, that chai is spicy. And stay hydrated, take your vitamins, get your sleep, you know the rest. Cool? Cool. Bye.